In the world of boxing, the huge news finally, what, 3 years almost in the making, Terrance Crawford, Errol Spence. This is Murdo's area of expertise, so just fire away, mate.
Yeah. This is like of all the fights that can be made, Joshua Fury, all the Joshua Usyk, this is the one. This is for boxing hardcores, this is the fight to have been made for the past, I don't know, 3, 4 years, as Frank was saying. Two top five pound for pound fighters finally squaring off. You rarely get these kind of top five in each division, and man, this is like a generational fight because both Crawford and Spence are generational talents. You know, both both fantastic boxers, had good careers so far, both world champions, but the only problem is they kind of lack a really significant name. They have good names, Porter's, Danny Garcia's, Mikey Garcia's, all that kind of stuff. But some of them come with a bit of a catch to those wins. But if whoever wins this one, they've really cemented themselves and be a legacy defining moment.
Is there one side you're favoring more than the other?
Honestly, I have thought about it so much. Like I think it's changed over time because Spence had a pretty significant car crash. I don't know if you remember it, DUI.
Yeah.
And I think he detached his retina. He had some eye issues and he was out for some time. That's put him out. And before that, I think I would have favored him. And he was a bit big at the time, a bit bigger because Crawford had just moved up. I think Crawford started his career at super featherweight. I think he's got titles at super featherweight. Anyway, I would have favored the kind of the mauling kind of bodywork of Spence in that one. The physicality, I thought he would have maybe got to him, dropped him late in the later rounds, but now Crawford at welterweight is really kind of filled in, turning into really, like, as you've seen throughout his welterweight career, turned into a really, really spiteful puncher. He's a great finisher, can switch hit, technically brilliant. I mean, Crawford is fantastic to watch. I think a little mismanaged throughout his career. He's been a bit unlucky with promotions and stuff like that. They've not done a great. They've not done nearly a good enough job with the talent that he is. But this will also be in the same night as Gaethje v Poirier. So if you can watch both, do it because what a night. This is, I think, it has all the makings for an absolute classic. Two undefeated top five pound for pound welterweights going at it. And kind of like the welterweight's always been a kind of premier division in boxing. We kind of see it return now. Yeah, what a fight! Buzzing for it.
Yeah.
It's been rebooked and booked so many times, and I just hope that guys come, not injured or pull out or whatever. But yeah, really, really buzzing for this one.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a sensational weekend for combat sports fans, with, like you say, with the BMF title on in the world of MMA as well. Just touching on I guess the crossover between world of boxing and MMA once again. Quickly going to address what is happening between Tyson Fury and Jon Jones. Dana White has not done himself any favors this week at all, calling a fight between Ngannou and Anthony Joshua a gimmick fight, a joke fight, and then turning around literally the next day in an interview with Bro Bible, where he says, "Let's
Roll
make
Bible."
Bro Bible." Yeah,
Okay.
he says, "Let's make Fury versus Jon Jones if they want to do it." Fury has since come out after saying that he would, if both him and Ngannou went into a room together, only he would walk out. Literally the next day, he comes around and says, "No, that's only if it's under boxing rules." After Ngannou calls him out for an actual fight, Fury says, "I'll box you," and that's sorry. Yeah, Jon Jones. He says he'll box Jon Jones. Basically, he would refuse to fight MMA, even though Dana is now pushing for it. Shambles. And after all of that, Fury has a new fight booked with some. Who was it?
I don't think it's quite booked, but
Oh,
thing
yeah,
is there's always rumors with, like, over the past few months, Fury is meant to fight Andy Ruiz,
Zhang at one point, wasn't
Zhang.
it?
It was Zhang
Yeah,
at one point. Dempsey McLean. I think it's Dempsey McLean now.
yeah.
And
Usyk.
there's another Australian He's a cruiserweight as well.
Yeah.
Even more embarrassing. But yeah, this is what Fury does. Like, Fury's done this to so many UFC champions. Cain Velasquez. You go back, Stipe. There was stuff going on there. So this is what Fury does. He likes to drum up attention. All this kind of stuff. So just, if you see a Tyson Fury clip, just scroll past it because it doesn't mean anything.
I'm close to muting him on Twitter now.
I've started muting folk. I've started muting. Yeah, I just can't. Genuinely, there's no point listening to Tyson Fury until he's in the ring because it's genuinely boring. Yeah, it's what he does. They're never going to fight. Jon Jones is not stupid enough to box him realistically, because he knows, because Jon Jones boxing is not. Not very good.
You can't eye poke with boxing gloves.
The Ngannou one kind of like, it's exciting because Ngannou has serious power and he has decent hands. Nothing. It's not boxing level, but
no,
decent.
It's got power. Yeah,
yeah,
power
exactly.
is the main thing as well. That crosses over well enough. Yeah,
but yeah, this is what Fury does. He likes to rile people up and stuff like that because he knows what gets attention. And
it's just the fact that Dana's playing into it, and I don't know. I understand maybe he's trying to do it in a way to sort of continue to bury the Ngannou news, but considering what he said about Ngannou wanting to box and then going straight into this, it really does not reflect well. I don't know if maybe he recorded this interview with Bro Bible a while back and they only just published it like after he had the press conference. I don't know. But yeah, I do feel like the UFC are floundering a bit right now.
Dana's like so obsessed about this Ngannou news. It's gonna pass by itself. He's not fighting for another 14 months or something.
Yeah.
Like, see, if you just let it die down, it's going to die down itself. Like, the PFL's making moves or whatever, but that's not going to last for the next 14 months. It's just not, that's not how it works. They don't have can't keep up like that, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. Thing is, it's like Dana's in this position where he's got so much power, he can't be told no. He's not got like he'll probably have some people giving him advice, but he's not going to listen to it, to be honest. And it just is such a detriment to the promotion and to the sport as well. It's embarrassing sometimes. I just think the way these guys go on, it's like, it's like, it's difficult to be fans, like, sometimes because it's so frustrating.
We're saying this every week at this point.
Yeah.
How difficult it is. It's I don't know. Something needs to change in MMA in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope these big moves that promotions like PFL are doing, I hope this is the early rumblings of some big change in the sport. Whether it turns into anything, who knows? The UFC is still massive revenue generating machine that continue to lower fighter pay and bring in more profit every year.
Yeah. The UFC is like Coca-Cola now. It's like they're such a recognizable. It's like it's just like they are they've taken over it. It's like when you think of MMA, people think it's a UFC. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they've just taken over in that sense. So it's kind of difficult to, like, PFL really need to get the next couple of years right for them to seriously make any changes in the sport, because ultimately that's what we want. I think it's like, I see problems in other sports and I just think it's like, sometimes I think MMA is so unique in the issues that we face. It's like, I think some of the people involved in the sport and the fans are just like, oh my God, man, it's
almost like you want to like revamp the whole thing. From the ground up completely. But obviously that's not really feasible. But yeah, man, don't know, interesting times. Anyway, I think that probably wraps us up for this. A bit of a random one, but the focus was meant to be boxing. Anyway, we out.